reset that. Hello everyone, let's switch to face cam. Hello everyone, welcome to the stream. My name is Daniel Livingstone, and today we are going to be editing some colorful studio portraits inside of Capture One. Now when I say editing, I mostly mean selections, so we're going to be picking out our favorite images, and we'll be doing a little bit of like light process. We'll be doing a little bit of light processing to them. But other than that, I don't think we're going to get super deep into the retouching, so I am... wow, it's really dry in here. I am in Capture One right now. I have my catalog open and it's pretty raw. The first thing I need to do, all I did was just like put away all of the test images, so these are all the actual images we shot. I'm gonna select all of these, and the first thing I want to do is take the organization a little step ahead. I'm gonna batch rename these. Format, yep, that's my format. Job name is gonna be, actually, underscore, there we go. So then it's gonna be, I've just titled this project Color Flex. I had ChatGPT create a fun, interesting name for this project. I don't think the name is super important. but I just needed something to go off of for the session name and the project name. So I think Colorflex is kind of an interesting name for a very colorful fitness fashion photo shoot. So we are batch training these images so they are more organized. It'll be easier to reference. I can just go off of a single number, like 103, 86, 22, so I know exactly which image I'm talking about. Visually, it's also just easier to look at for me. So, for those of you who are joining us, I'm really excited about this project. It turned out really cool, almost exactly the way I wanted to do it. And once this finishes, I can go a little deeper in explaining how I came to this result, what I needed to do to get to this point. Maybe I'll do that a little later in the stream, because I do want to kind of get on top of making these selections. These images are going to be for my portfolio, obviously, but also my monthly newsletter. So I'm going to probably try to walk away with like 5 selects of images that I think are good. Also my monthly newsletter. So I'm going to let me turn this down just a little bit more. So I'm going, the magic number is 5. I want to walk away with 5 images that I am like ready to share, and I'll probably do some retouching on my own off stream later today or maybe even tomorrow, because I do want to get this out like at the very end of the month, if not like the first week of May. So blurry images we can drop, closed eyes images we can drop. And then I think the hero shot of this image we end up coming back to a couple times throughout the shoot, but I think we really, by the end of it, nailed it. I'm going to start with 4-star ratings, maybe even 3-star ratings for now. And I think this is when we're still trying to dial in the lighting. Like that. So this one we have like a, kind of a misfire in the lighting. But I do like the hip, I like the jacket too. And this one's pretty, yeah, I already marked this one. Yeah, getting more power out of that background light was pretty neat. I like that. And if you guys have any questions about the lighting or how I'm intending on editing these, feel free to drop those questions in the chat. Always happy to answer anything you guys might have for me. But in the meantime, you can kind of get a little bit of a sneak preview about what the setup was. We have 2 bounce boards here on the left and the right. We have a soft box that's gelled in the back here. We have a little secret light behind this wall that's got an orange gel on it. And then they kind of meet in the middle to create this nice gradient. So we got hand in the pocket, which is kind of cool. I mean, this is like just a utility image. It's not super impactful, but it's just a good image, technically. This one's pretty cool. I like the attitude and the expression, plus the body language kind of helps add to that. The jacket looks a little bulky in this shot, which is kind of interesting. I don't hate it. This hand feels a little awkward. I don't know what we're doing with that hand yet. We need to figure out a little more purpose. And this is the very beginning, so we're still warming up. And Abby, the model, shout out to her, did a fantastic job. Really happy with what we were able to create together. The images where this orange really shines through, I just like so much more. But I should be paying more attention to. And then we had some like firing issues with the red rim light not going off. Although I do think it looks good when just the one rim light is happening, especially on these like front profile shots. Like, I like that. I would mark that. So in this one, I like where the jacket's really big. It kind of creates this gigantic shape around her that draws your attention in. I like that too. That's really nice. And then we did some experimental shots with the shoes. Love that. That one's really, really good. I like the composition of these as well. Having a little extra breathing room is going to be nice. And a little more centered is pretty cool too. The angle is an interesting effect as well. And I got these full bodies, and I don't know if I'm going to use any of these full bodies. I'm going to have to remove a bunch of stuff in the background, but also I'm going to have to clean up the floor considerably. I like that. Oh, excuse me. Oh. Just going back and forth on these to see which poses I like the most. I think I like the shape of this. The baggy pants, the little heel pop is nice. This is cool, but I feel like the hand feels a little disconnected from the arm. I like that. That's a nice portrait. That's just a nice classic portrait. As well as this. Honestly, both of these strong. We'll get rid of closed eye shots. That's powerful. I like the intensity. I think we dialed in the hand positioning here. And then we did an outfit swap, and we got some nice full bodies. That's good. This is a much more powerful pose. I like that. And then we creep in with the lens compression. That one's good. Another good, just strong classic portrait. These we tried some stretching shots with some like wide angle. Let's see. I like both of these. We did some smoke on this shot, but I don't think it translates because it's not being backlit very well. Like the smoke, it's... Excuse me, I need to grab some water. I'm sorry, give me 1 second. Alright, we are back. Got some more water. It's just really dry in here right now. Got myself a go-go squeeze. I love how that works. These things are the bomb. But back to our selects. So, yeah, like I was saying, we were doing a stretching shot on a horizontal scene. I think this is the only time we shot horizontal for the entire shoot. I'm actually glad we did. We tried popping some smoke. It had a little bit of a like wispy effect. It's a little hazy back here, which helps kind of like smooth out the background. I'll take one of these. I don't know if it'll make it to the final selects. I like the upward look though. Oh, I forgot to do my tags. Hold on one second. I gotta fix my... I posted an Instagram story announcement for the stream and I needed to, forgot to tag the people. There we go. Alrighty, back to that. There we go. So, yeah, this was our horizontal scene. We played around with some atmospheric haze, like smoke in a can. You can see it here real, obviously, but since we're not backlighting the smoke, it doesn't translate super well. We tried backlighting it with the rim lights on her, and it did kind of work, but then it just pumped a bunch of red in front of our gradient, which is not what we were going for. I like the chin up on these, though. Although the chin down is maybe a little stronger, so maybe drop this one. Let's see what else we got in here. Yeah, these we do the jacket with the outfit. What kind of outfit is this called? Just like gym outfit? Work outfit? Not to be confused with a work outfit. Playing around with the jacket, getting a little variety there. Actually, the open jacket's kind of cool with the red punching through. It's really neat. I know this red is reading is really magenta, especially on the subject. So I'm gonna have to really, really pump that red tone and also adjust it to the hue I want because it feels a little cool. I want it to be a warmer red. Love that. Throw a little shoulder out there, I like that. Maybe I don't like that. Maybe I like pulled back, yeah. Oh yeah, these are phenomenal. I love that. This is very artistic, like the jacket taking up the entire frame. It's pretty neat. That's pretty sick too. This one's awesome, just this like very authentic smile. That one is interesting, but I don't know if it'll make it as a final select. Once again, that orange light not behaving on me. We took the glasses off for this, yes. There we go. When the orange is actually behaving. I did another stretching shot. I think these are kind of cool. Put that background to see where it gets dark in between my bounce boards. It's kind of ugly. I could probably retouch it to like include more gradient, but Oh, so this is where it got dark in the front, and I think this is where I added that bounce board, or at least pushed it in, and got a lot more fill in the front of the face so it was more evenly lit. I think it was very effective, and it's just the difference between this and this. Yeah, filling in these shadows here with this cutout. That's good. Once again, some really nice, ooh, chin up. All love. I'm always just pushing models to go chin up, because I feel like there's just so much power in that. Also, I'm usually, I'm gonna say like higher elevation than they think, so they think they have to like point down to camera, but like the way that the lens is working out, a chin up, you can get more leeway in a chin up than you would think as a model. I'm realizing now that this blue reflection is from the bounce board, which I think is pretty neat. So if I really wanted to control the reflection in the glasses, like, I think that's pretty cool too. Which one? I mark this one? One, two. That one's better. Maybe on this one. And no, not that one. Yeah. See, this one we got the orange to behave. But there's more like a, like throwing some shoulder into this shot, which I like a lot more. I can always pump that orange later. And then the jacket was too boxy on this side, so eventually I think I got involved and decided to add like... See, I like this where it's boxy and this one where it's tucked, so it creates like a flat and then a curved shape on one side. I think that's kind of interesting. So I might include it. But then we did get involved, and then we styled the jacket up a little bit with a clip. I might have clipped it a little too hard, but I'm not a professional stylist, so I'm just doing what I can. Should I mark this one? Oh, this was the... There we go. These are all the raws. I think... Which one did I just... What did I just do? Alright, 291. That one gets selected. I guess that was select for the thumbnail for the Instagram promo for the stream. That's pretty cool too. I'll throw that in for the agency just because I'm sure they're going to want like a nice clean portrait of the model. Alright, so that is the end of our selects. Now I have to throw some filters on to do our second round. So we have how many? 56 selects to pull through. So we gotta do the best of these, and then eventually our final round. So this is pretty dark compared to what we've seen. Actually, I will probably go backwards now. I'll start from back to front. For my purposes, I'm definitely just gonna go for the ones with the glasses. I'm gonna throw a non-glasses shot in there for variety. I feel like this is the shot. Yeah, I think this is like the shot. I'm just gonna bump that to 5 straight away. Maybe we don't show those. Alright. So we're going for 4 stars now. This has potential as a 4-star. These are gotta be images that like really just jump out to me. Yeah, that one I'd like to keep. That one's fun. I don't know if it's a finalist. I'm cool with that. Yeah. I'm also trying to get a variety of like compositions. That's such a good image. These also, like, I think it's just that one's the winner, and that maybe that one's also a good contender. That one too. That one's cool. That one's also really cool. Okay, 11 4-star images. Can we get our final 5 out of these? It's between this and this. This is obviously the winner. I don't want too many shots with the glasses. I think that's cool. I think that's cool. And then are these R5? Variety of outfits, yes. White on white, blue on blue on white, blue on blue on white, just blue, just legs. Yeah. I think these have got to be our final 5. So now we have to figure out a treatment. And that might be the next toughy part. Oh, also, one thing that really helped me out, this software, Satellite, by Elixir Software, is awesome. I'm gonna download it right now, actually, on Windows. I have it on my laptop, but this program is insane. I use it to create the lighting diagram for this shoot. I'll wait to get into that in a second. Let's see. So adjustment-wise, I think I need to boost exposure to a degree. But I'm okay with it feeling a little dark. I also want to bump up saturation. No. I want to leave saturation where it's at. I can manually do local saturation stuff when I'm in Photoshop. Contrast, I feel like these don't need a ton of contrast because then I'll lose the color. But I know it needs to be brighter. And then this, instead of the, well, yes, the brightness does need to come up. Maybe I'll come up like 10 points on brightness. I'll come up like 1/3 of a stop, an exposure. And then the shadow values, I can lift those. And that's kind of all the data I'm going after is stuff in the shadows. Now, when changing stuff like shadows, I don't want to like flatten out all this contrast that's happening here. And I don't need to restore every single shadow detail in the image. Like, this data doesn't matter. This data doesn't matter. This data matters a little more, just to get the texture of the jacket. But we know this is the same jacket. We don't need all the texture all the way through. We can kind of mentally place what's over here, and recognize that that's just the darker side of the same thing. The hair, we don't need all the detail on either. Like, we can lift those a little bit. I think 20 is a nice spot. And if we're looking at our histogram, our image is pretty balanced all the way through. We're lacking a lot of really sharp, like bright white highlight information, but I know if I push that, the first thing I'm going to lose is the texture and detail in the sports bra and the texture and the detail in the sweatpants, which is really important to the image. So we want to preserve these. We also might clip a little bit on the forehead here and some of like the highlights on the skin. We don't really need to do that. So I think this is a good spot. I'm gonna copy this and paste it to their images and see where that lands us. So this one is a little less, like a little darker. I'm gonna pump another 1/3 of exposure in there. And you see we are losing some of our color. But if we're starting here and we're ending up here, I think that's good. It seems like we've also got a custom white balance going. So what if I set this as shot? So it's just a little bit cooler. I'm gonna go to like 5,000. Maybe even a warmer. Yeah, I guess color balance or white balance thing we should also really figure out. What was this set to? 5190? 5100? 5200 is actually a little closer. And I think we want to preserve some of this green tone. So I think a -6 is good. So 5200 and -6. And I wonder if that updates for everything. No, it doesn't. So I'll just select this, bring it over here, bring it over here, and then this is 5200, -6. Alright, there we go. I mean, I would like to see, in a shot like this, maybe a little more contrast. Yeah. We'll do 15 contrast. And then, I think I was having issues with my lens when I was on this set, so I think we're definitely going to need to play around with some sharpening. Because I was having some serious focus issues, just trying to get everything in focus. This orange is kind of clipping in a way that doesn't feel good. Or not even clipping, it feels washed out. Yeah, maybe the brightness comes down on this. Maybe I lift the exposure on her independently. I mean, that is an option. But I think I'd prefer to have all those controls in Photoshop. Let's see. Yeah, I really lost the... I'm gonna have to bring the shadows down in the background in post, or like pump contrast on that. And then I think these adjustments should translate to this image. Yeah, getting that extra exposure on her is good. The background doesn't really lose anything. In fact, I think it was kind of an improvement on the background. So I'm happy about that. So this is our newsletter images. Maybe bring back some shadows on this shot. Also, less brightness, because I want to keep some contrast and some like dimension here in the body and in the clothes. Maybe we'll get a retouching sesh. So I'm curious if I go back to my 3 stars, or maybe my 4 stars, if there are any like special presets we can add to this that will make it more interesting. Although I think the colors are really figured out. Style. Yes. Yes. Yeah, everything's really gonna kill our color profile on this. Maybe some matting will kind of make these more interesting though. Alright, let's take our hero image into Photoshop. And then I'll fire up the tablet. I'm realizing now, I might have to go back, because while I think this is the best like composed image, we did revisit this and we did clean up some of the flyaways. So perhaps this is a contender. There's so much more attitude in this shot. This is also before we close the jacket, so I probably need to only consider. Well, then we fix it with these. So I guess these are gonna have. I guess it's fine. When you have the right shot, you have the right shot. So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna do my retouching action. Let that build all my layer templates for me. Oh, give me 1 second. I have to attend to a work thing really quick. I'll make the image larger so we can see that. We can give you something to look at. Alright. Back to this. So our action has built out all of our layers, so we're good on that. It's done a little bit of like automatic retouching for us in this tonal layer. You can see here, though it's very subtle. It's actually very, very subtle. I had quite a hard time. Oh, because there's no actual like skin tone color in this. Okay, so we don't even need any of that. We're gonna build this out from scratch. Yeah, I didn't actually pick up on any actual like skin tone. Because this is red, this is blue. None of these are like the peachy yellow or like melanated skin tones it's used to seeing. But we're going to be doing a little bit in the high frequency section, so we're just going to do some, I wonder, actually this might be fixable in tonal. But this is a special case because we need to do, oh, this is going to be difficult. What's the brightest highlight we can get on here? We're gonna have to do some real creative sourcing. I need a specular highlight. I need the brightest specular highlight I can find on the face to know what to paint this. That seems like the right answer. So I normally have preset swatches for like typical skin tones, but since this is a gel light on skin, we kind of have to match the color of the gel as a reference for dodging and burning. Yeah. So if it's a little spotty, we can kind of clean that up. And actually, before I do a ton of like tonal work, well no, for this area I should probably do it tonally, that makes the most sense. I think that should be smoother. Yeah, we've eliminated all those dark spots. And then we can actually, I see some light spots in here sticking out, so we can darken those. And in fact, this is actually working quite well. So we're still just doing our typical dodging and burning, but our samples for color have just changed a little bit. Yeah, I think we're safe to use these tones. Just can't overdo it, otherwise we're going to create some real harsh separation lines like this. There we go, now we've blended this out a lot more effectively. Done some pretty decent work retouching this up here. I'm going to come in and adjust these baby hair. Maybe we can just smooth this out the old-fashioned way with a clone stamp tool, like a really low opacity clone stamp tool. Yeah, we're just gonna dampen these highlights. This single hair we can use a patch tool for though. And then these little baby hairs, I'm just gonna clone stamp, low opacity, brush them out. Oops. And then the tonal, they're still there really. Alright, Oh, yeah, it's gonna be the low mostly. Yeah, I see all that. Alright, now we gotta go back in our tonal and fix some things up. Yeah, I think it's all just manually grabbing that stuff and moving it over. What's going on over here? What's up with this? Darker. And lighter. Yeah, I need to lighten, I need to darken this top part and lighten immediately underneath it. That is a little bit better. And it's okay to keep some texture in here. This seems like a bit much though, so I'm gonna smooth that out. And then always more stuff to clean up in here when I'm making these changes. Yeah, that's better. And we've created a smoother transition in that forehead, which is kind of nice too. So now moving on to this. With this, I think I can actually do a pretty good job blending that out. So let's see, if I grab a 10 pixel feathered lasso grab of this, and then I try to just smooth out this rough transition by blurring the low frequency. That is pretty effective. It's a lot less harsh. This feels a lot better. Even on the right side, like by the ear, I can do that too. Maybe not as hard, but like around here. No, it really doesn't hit until you get to this point, which I think is okay. Now it's a much smoother transition. And these highlight streaks and these like hard transitions in the hair, I think are a lot more acceptable. This left side is a pretty smooth transition, so I'm okay with that. Just a small highlight. This is a low frequency issue. Yeah. Low frequency, all these ridges and textures can be solved pretty easily. I could get real nitty-gritty with that. I think there's a... no, it's just my selection. I think I might enjoy masking out the actual lenses of the glasses, maybe blending this gradient to make it smooth. Something cool, I don't know. Probably want to retouch this baby hair out, which I'm going to use the magic erase tool or whatever it's called, the remove distractions tool. And let's see if this can generate me a good result. It did nothing. Oh, it just changed the hair. That's not really what I was going for. Maybe we can just try it again. Let me turn on. Oh. Turn this on. Brush all that. Oh, it won't let me do that. Well, I don't want to do this now. Let's try again. Well, I'd love to just smooth that out entirely and get rid of that. Okay, now it did a better job. Yeah, it did a considerably better job that time. So that is actually pretty good. Now if we can grab, I mean this should be easy. I might have to just do this piece by piece. Alright, what did that do? That made it smaller, that's for sure. I feel like I should, the tool might work better if I do this in one big motion. You can see the brush strokes, that's what I'm not liking. It's not like working with the gradient super well. What if I just grabbed all this hair? Don't want that. I still see issue here. Whatever. I believe in Photoshop. I don't know why it's not giving me a result though. Does it want me to cancel and try again? Okay. In fact, let's move more of that. Let's try that again. Sometimes this tool makes my computer act a little weird. I tend not to use it unless it's for like flyaways on difficult backgrounds. Yeah, it's just refusing to cooperate. Like it's done, it's obviously done. There we go. Now it's cooperated. Alright, it's not a terrible result. I do see a little bit of issue with the gradient here. You can kind of see the brushing. Maybe I just, oops, didn't mean to do that. Lasso tool. Let me just do a little bit of like grabbing and then generatively filling. Oh, let's not include this in this. Hopefully it just cleans that up. Which one's giving me the best result noise-wise? Probably this one. I mean, the gradient looks pretty preserved. Let me just merge these two. And then we can do a spot heal tool back here. And then we'll do a current and below. Clone stamp move on these hairs on the neck. That doesn't feel awful to me. Maybe down here we gotta fix that up a little bit. Yeah. Alright, that is an improvement. There we go. Clean up some of those distractions. Now, what else is there to do? Just a little bit of extra, like, skin retouching, probably. This little mark here. I think like the remove tool, or like the magic remove tool, or the remove distractions tool, I should say, it really chews up your scratch disk space, because I don't get smooth zooming after I use it, and I'm gonna save this as is. And then I'm gonna close Photoshop, and then I'm gonna reopen Photoshop. And I'm gonna open this again, and then that should like refresh. Yeah, now I get smooth zooming again, now I get smooth scroll. I probably want to blend where the lighting is meeting on the nose a little better. This might be a texture part though. No, because I just removed all the texture. I don't want to do that. Scoop that up. There's a better. And then there's this. Because I see this, maybe it's just dodging and burning. Maybe a little bit of dodging. Just bring that in. And then we can angle the shadows that are being made on the nose. There we go. And then maybe a little bit more like red highlight on the nose. Is this a texture problem? Can this be fixed just by doing this? Perhaps. It's just this feels so dark now. Maybe it's just black and white pull the whole thing up. Yeah. You just bring all this up. And then, I don't know what the heck is going on with this. This is kind of a mess. This is a high frequency issue, I knew it. Plus a little bit of tonal. Actually, is this just tonal? It is an improvement. Just we get this like dark spot now. Maybe I just get rid of what I did on the tonal. It don't feel right. Yeah, I did something wrong in the high frequency for sure. Let me see if I can go back enough. Probably not. No, I didn't think so. Let's just build it again. No, actually, I'm not going to do that. I think we just ignore it until late. No. Current layer, 40%. Just bring that down. Bring that up. Maybe I'll try and not look at it for a while. Probably gonna want precise selections of everything. We could probably play. We could probably play around with some colors right now. So I'm gonna grab the reds. I want them to really be like the shade of red that I want. See, that deeper red is what I like to see. It does feel a little crunchy though to contrast. We do get more detail out of that, which is kind of nice. I will loosely mask it and keep it for now. Oh, except we want to create a new mask based on all of this. Nope, that is what we want. Turn that on, delete it from our... Why is it not working? Oh. There we go. Deselect, invert. Now the red is just isolated to our subject's face. Except I kind of didn't want it to be so dark. I think I also just need to do a big old vibrance boost on everything. Yeah. Especially the background, because that's like kind of the whole point. There we go. I am tempted to get rid of this logo as well. And gone. Which one is the most believable? Not that one. And probably not that one. But I think the first one is our winner. So that's the logo gone. Alright, do we throw a Vibrance really helps out a lot. Do we need a overlay? I would like to see what's out there. Could be cool. Yeah, I think this really would benefit from something like that. Let's smart object this. Then change the blend mode, then change the levels. And then change the blur. Yeah, I think that helps elevate it just a little bit, create a little extra interest. I'll title this subject. This will be global. Overlays. It definitely needs to be brighter. So under global, underneath our vibrance, I'm going to punch up the white point just a tad. Maybe this is a...
Culture evolves at the speed.
I got an ad?
Just
No way. No. Ad blocker, you failed me. What? Why do we stop? No, keep it up. There we go. Yeah, that white pop does help a lot. But then it makes me wonder if we're clipping too much on the colors now. This is gonna have to be really subtle. It's gonna be like 250. Yeah. And then maybe bring the blacks down too. Really kick up that contrast. Let's do 5. Just a little touch of contrast boost. We can keep cleaning up these flyaways too. Oof. This actually really helps me see things super clearly. Just this one random strand coming out of the glasses. Oh, I can see a couple over here too. There we go. Alright, cool. Then we turn all these on and bam, we got an image. Maybe we turn the darks down like somewhere around here. Actually, did that do what I wanted? Maybe that's enough. I'm curious if we go to the levels of our overlay. We pump the white up. Does that do anything? It made them a little brighter, but not anything that's super worth doing. Alright, hear me out. I know I do this on every shot, and I'm trying to do something different. But what if we added a vignette? I think that'd be sweet. Just a little bit of darkness at the bottom. And maybe it's not even circular. Maybe we do a little bit of a linear gradient just coming from underneath. Just something to create that depth. I think that helps. I hate this song. Next song. Yeah, having that attention, I keep saying tension, having that dimension at the bottom, I think helps make the subject feel more 3D. I also want to make her hand brighter. I feel like we're just losing a little bit of that. Oh, that missed by a mile. Whoa. There we go. We'll call this hand. Not too bright. I just don't want to lose any of that detail. It felt so hidden and flat. This will be reds. Yeah, shifting those reds to be more red kind of helps. I like where we're landing with this. Maybe I make the Nike logo a little more white or like bright. What the hell is that? There we go. Wow, this is really all or nothing. Like, it's already so close to the white point. Oh, you know what I could do? Yes. I think I'm going to isolate a ton of elements in this scene. Oh, we can also grab that. Yeah, now we're just gonna selectively edit like every single thing in this shot. Maybe not even midtones, maybe it's blacks and whites. And then we do a clipping mask on this. And we just create as much dimension as possible. That's too obvious. Something subtle. Because I do want to draw a little bit of attention to that logo. Yeah, that creates a little more dimension. That's kind of fun. I am getting pretty satisfied with this. So one thing that I wanted to show off too is inside my test folder here. Are my lighting diagrams. I think this is pretty close to what we ended up doing. You can see a little image depiction here of what the studio kind of looked like in 3D space. This was kind of the original concept that we were going for. I ended up changing a few things, like I rotated this so this was more angular, but this remained about the same. This strip light with orange ended up becoming a soft beauty dish instead of a strip light to bring in this orange glow, but like the shape of it doesn't matter a ton. More so matters the power and how you're angling it. And then we do have two strip lights. I ended up switching these gels out to red instead of orange, and then this umbrella did remain the same. It was a gelled umbrella with a reflector head on it, or no, yeah, reflector head on it. And then we completely removed the beauty dish. The beauty dish wasn't doing anything for me, so we took this out entirely. So these became red, this stayed the same, this stayed the same. The power settings we changed a lot. And then my camera settings, you can see in Capture One, ended up being f8 1/60th of a second at ISO 250. And then we even bumped that up like 2/3 of a stop, honestly. Yeah, so realistically I would have gone to probably 400 and what's the 400 ISO value? 450? 450, 500? No, 400 flat. Yeah, I would have gone to like 400 ISO. Same shutter speed, same aperture. Let's save this. Okay, now it's updated. So we're getting somewhere. I think I want to pump a little more contrast in special areas to really drive how dramatic this image is. Let's see. I don't think we need to retouch that. Back skin's pretty easy, it's usually quite clear, so I don't have to do a ton of retouching on this front. I think I'm going to spend most of my time adjusting these flyaways back here. Making sure that this is cleaned up. The hands look pretty good. I think it's mostly just going to be adjusting this hair. And maybe making adjustments to the background however I want, like cleaning up these ridges, fixing these skirts of light, or we just throw an overlay on top of it to kind of mask it all up. The shoe shot's really fun though. This probably needs to be even bigger. Oh, I didn't actually add any adjustments to this shot. Yeah, I was gonna say this probably needs to be brighter, but keeping the shadow detail, or keeping the shadows intact. So brighter, but contrast. I can really jack up the contrast on this one. It's not gonna hurt the image too much. And then I'll pump some vibrance in Photoshop. Let's do basic cleanup on like this. Getting rid of that Aloe logo too, just because of the mismatch. So let's run our actions. Oh, I actually think I did want to edit these in 16-bit. This one's an exception, but let's go back, delete that, because there's so much color data in here. I do want to edit these in Photoshop in 16-bit. And then I need to run 16-bit frequency separation. And if I did it right, I shouldn't see any changes here. Yep. Oh, and then we'll do tonal in between. I did that wrong. Tonal, soft light, fill with gray. This one I'm definitely going to put some sharpening on, because I think it's a little soft on the focus. Just adjusting these baby hairs on the hairline. There we go. We're gonna have to do some, we're gonna have to do some low frequency blending around here to really smooth out this edge. Maybe not that hard. I guess it has to be, huh? except I don't want my hard edge. Oh, it's because it's a 0 pixel feather. 10 pixels. We'll start one section at a time, actually. There we go. We can just smooth out that transition. This edge I'm gonna have to blur out and smooth that transition. Oh, my favorite songs are coming on. That's better. I feel like this can still get blended a little harder. It just makes it dark. Really? Can I blend it with the mixer brush tool? That helps a little bit. And then I just gotta clean up some more texture stuff over here. That actually got helped out a lot. Alright, we shape that out a little bit more. This I can probably fix with low frequency. Better. A lot less apparent. And then just a little bit of like skin texture manipulation down here. I can see an opportunity where we can get some goodness out of our low frequency blending right here. Yeah, about there is good. Then we mixer brush that. And then same with this redness. Blend that out. Blend all of this out. Some texture stuff we clean up. And we are lighting the model pretty harshly with like really harsh light. And this like rim side light. So this is not like, we kind of set ourselves up for this because we're bringing out all that extra texture in the face, like more than is normally apparent. So I'm just gonna smooth this out very generally. There we go. Maybe even a little bit more smoothness over here. And then we'll take it around here. There we go. And then if I do a solar curve, I'll be able to see my tonal, and I see the spots that I have to pick up a little bit. I'll do like 20/20. is just the tiniest bit right here. And then right here. There we go. That's all we need. Just a little pop underneath the eye. Same on this side. Just a little pop underneath here. Maybe not as much right there. Really subtle adjustments we're making here, but they do become a lot more apparent when you build them up. Just like this, I'm gonna reshape some of these. Oh, not even the right layer. There we go. There we go. Yeah, I think we have adjusted the face quite nicely. I don't think there's a whole lot else that needs to be done here. I'm gonna leave, well, I want to do my cleanup too, my just the background. Make selection, add to selection. We'll just grab this and then generative fill that out. That's better. Maybe we just grab some of this and do the same. Yeah, I do like this darker one that they've made up, so combine all those into our cleanup layer. What if I took like a color layer? Let's just do like a magenta. Gradiented it out, set it to color, and then we did like a select subject, and then just deleted it from that. This is a little too bright, right? Is blue any useful here? No, I think we just need to match it. I just grab that color. Yeah, if we just pop that color in there, that kind of fixes that right up. Let's just do, let's copy some of our global And maybe our overlays. Well, the overlays aren't going to be super useful, so I'll just do global. Yeah. Contrast, vibrance, bump that up, suddenly this image is popping out a lot more. What other color could this be? Oh, red's not bad. Like a deeper red. Matches the floor a lot better. What if we duplicated that and then darkened it too? Match that up. Just send that into darkness. See, without the red, it's not that interesting. So that kind of goes together to fix the floor a lot. I'm liking this. Oh, we have to fix that logo too. This one, real easy. And goodbye. Oh, no, almost. There we go. Yeah, this dimple doesn't bother me. It did for a second and then I got over it. So what else should be done? Maybe cleaning up the hair, cleaning up these flyaways, probably. Let's just see. Oh, really? When did the music stop? Oh, it's done? Oh. Oh, we ran through the full hour and a half. This stream has been going for a while, huh? About an hour and a half, yeah. Okay. Well, I guess we'll get 2 retouches in and then call it. Alright, hear me out. Color. Purplish. Maybe a purple pinkish. Gradient, right? No. Gradient, right? Like here to here. Here to here. Set that to color. Clipping mask. Purple gradient, orange gradient. Maybe not as bright. Maybe something a little darker. Something to help it blend in. And then we just throw a bunch of junk at it. Like a shard. Most of these shards I'm not really a huge fan of. Like, what are we doing here? Come on. Like, get this out of here. We don't need all this. Just want the other stuff. It's still too bright too. That's the annoying part. That's like kind of interesting. It just might be too much. Do we have anything else? Emulsion, grit and grain, dust and dirt. What blending mode am I supposed to do for this? Opposite, multiply. If I flipped it though, and screen it, I get white dust. And maybe, I think this could also probably benefit from it doesn't look bad actually. You know what would really do it if I kicked the matting way up. Now this effect makes more sense. Huh. Alright, turn this off for a second. What is this doing to my image? You know, the matte kind of gives it an interesting feel. It lets me punch up contrast without destroying the image. I might keep it. This might be one of the cleanest matte curves I've ever done. There's potential in this. I'm gonna hold on to that. Overlay. Screen. Desaturate. Levels. Darken. Opacity down. Blur a little bit. Oops. Maybe I just throw some like fake grain on it, call it a day. Like some digital grain. Actually, do I have a grain? Nope. Well, we'll find it. Actually. Oh, I see. Okay, that's somewhere in there. Oh, you know what? That's why. There it is. We need to rotate this and fit it to the screen. Oh wait, we already did that, good. Let me set this to overlay, I think. Did that do what we wanted it to do? Yeah, there's that nice texture, digital noise, we love it. Which is funny because it's texture from the camera that I use. I actually don't mind where this is at. Maybe a tad crunchy. Oh, this has to be darker. No, we're just gonna go back to what we had before. I liked that. I'm not gonna mess with it. I think I just want a brighter face, or even just a brighter subject overall would be nice. This should go into global though. This also isn't an overlay. I don't think I need that at all. We'll just put these in the background category. And then we have nothing in the subject category yet, but I'm gonna do a very crude selection of my talent. Sure. And then we'll do a curve, lift her up a little bit. That's better. Just not like too much though. I really think I gotta put this texture on this. This really needs to go in here. Yeah, that really helps make it feel kind of like a magazine. Also feels like a little bit of a sharpening effect. Save that. This document's gotta be huge. Yeah, 1.5 gigs. That is lofty. So far, this is good. There's obviously more that needs to be done, but I think this is in a happy place as a first draft edit. What the hell's going on up here? This needs to be darker. There we go. And then something's going on right here. Yeah, I see it still. And then there's some dark spot right here that I can adjust. And bang. It's all coming together now. Save that. That's gonna take a minute to save. I think that wraps us up for the day. I have more retouching to do, but I just wanted to give you guys a little sneak preview into how I work on these kinds of projects. Also just kind of like a fun little announcement that I'm doing this very colorful shoot, which is pretty out of the ordinary for my usual style, but I wanted to experiment with something different. But while that saves and updates, still chugging along, I am going to wrap the stream there. So that finishes us off. Go back to capture one, yes. Alright guys, that's it. Follow me on Instagram if you want to see the final result once it's posted. If you go to the link in my Instagram bio and sign up for that newsletter, you will see the images in their final form probably sometime this week, if not early next week. And check out the affiliate links that are in the description as well as the chat to support the stream. Anything in there from CRMs to AI editing and retouching to some really powerful post-processing tools. Definitely give them a look. If they make sense to you, please buy them and support the channel. With all that being said, my name is Ian Livingstone, and you all be sure to do something creative today. I'll see you all in the next one.